evening. My name is Nathan Polsky. Today is July 28th. It's currently 7:01 p.m. I am the campaign support director for the Libertarian Party of Texas. Today we have with us Justin Gonzales. He is running for county constable in McLennan County here in Texas. So you guys know, if you're not here for the first time, what we're doing here, we are live on Facebook, on X, on YouTube. We will have a series of questions to ask Justin towards the end of the stream. If there's any questions or comments in the chat, we can bring those up, see how Justin can handle those. So without further ado, let's get this party started.
Howdy.
Howdy. Howdy is correct. We are in Texas.
Yes, sir.
All right, Justin, thank you for being with us tonight. I've also got David Fight is co-hosting again.
Howdy.
So, Justin, just to get us started off, tell us who you are.
I'm Justin Gonzales, like the computer says. I'm running for McLennan County Constable here in Central Texas, and I've been a lifelong member in McLennan County, lifelong resident. I've been in law enforcement for close to 12, 13 years in total. Served a couple years worked for TDCJ in Huntsville. That's families comes. I got family in law enforcement, family as educators.
Yeah, I did notice that. I don't know specifically if like the sheriff's department requires you to have a law enforcement background, but I know with constables, that's actually a requirement.
Yes, you have to have a be already TCOL certified, or once you get elected, you have a year to get your TCOL certification. That's Texas Commission on Law Enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least it gives you a little bit of time to get that if you don't have it already. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I think the elected sheriff is the same way. You have a year to get it once you're elected.
It also generally means that most of those people aren't randos off the street who have zero experience to do the job before them. Yeah. You would hope so, at least. Yeah. All right, so let's just get into it. Speaking of experience, for voters unfamiliar with the office, what does a county constable actually do? I added that one in there. And why does this election matter to McLennan County residents?
Well, the constable's office is the civil process. They do your evictions. If your court issues an order, the constable's office is the one who takes care of that. They also provide courtroom security for the JP's courtroom. They also make arrests when needed. They are still law enforcement, and just out and whatever the county needs, back up for assistance. If somebody calls saying, "Hey, I need help," constable's office can go and help.
And I noticed that not every state has a constable's office. It's unique. It was like 20, I think, somewhat of the states, and not all of them have the same level of responsibilities or power that a Texas constable's office has.
I know New Mexico has it, and they're a little bit different, but they're got family and law enforcement in New Mexico, and I forgot what their powers are, but it's not as much as in Texas.
Yeah, I know in Pennsylvania it's way less. It's like just the civil stuff. You don't even have the ability to arrest people or anything like that. It's just, serving papers and providing security in the courtroom, and that is pretty much it.
Yeah, because in Texas, a constable has just as much power as a police officer or the sheriff's department for making arrests or anything else like that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. You can run. They can run traffic if they want to. That's pulling people over. It's whatever the elected constable wants them to do. If they don't want their deputies pulling people over, then they're not going to pull anybody over.
I need to be in that precinct.
A lot of elected officials don't like their guys pulling people over, especially in small counties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because unlike the sheriff's department, who polices the entire county,
Yeah.
or police officers who only police within their municipality,
Yeah.
a constable is just the precinct.
Yes, just the precinct in the county. And here in McLennan County, there's 5 precincts. 2 or 3 are Democrat, and the rest are Republican.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's see. So speaking of some of your responsibilities, we'll kick this next one over here to David.
All right. How would you ensure that warrants, evictions, and other lawful orders are carried out with due process, professionalism, and respect for private property?
Well, with that, you have to look and see who the property owner is, and make sure they have follow all the proper paperwork. Because if they don't follow the paperwork to the letter that the law provides, then what they're doing would be illegal. So just as long as you follow the paperwork, make sure all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and make sure everything's fair on both ends between the property owner and the person who's residing in the property. I mean, both sides deserve the full legal protection under the law.
Amen.
Does that require a lot of playing kind of like an intermediary between the property owner and maybe the judge or whomever that's serving the notice?
Yeah, there's a lot of telling which side, hey, you need to fill out this way, and telling the other side, hey, this is what you need to do to make sure everything's all compliant and works best for everybody.
So not just taking whatever the judge said or the court says and says, go evict this person. And you're just like, okay, let's go do that.
Yeah, as long as it's legal, then yeah, it's whatever the judge orders. That's
Mm-hmm. All right.
Makes sense.
All right. So let's move on to our next one here. So what training and accountability standards would you establish to ensure your deputies respect constitutional rights and use only necessary force?
I'd make sure they're trained in de-escalation techniques, and also that their knowledge of the law is there and enough that they can count on themselves to know what is right and wrong, and just empower them to learn more. It's in the trainings. There's trainings all over the state for civil rights and use of force and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think knowledge of the law is one of the things that it always blows my mind how often I encounter a law enforcement officer that doesn't know the laws that they're enforcing.
Yeah.
Like this, I found it to be better in Texas since moving down here. But growing up in New York, like I was arrested once, and I was in the process of moving, so like everything I owned was in my car, including my rifle, my like knife collection, some swords. Like I had a whole bunch of weapons in my trunk, and the cops like one by one tried to tell me that like certain things were felony possession of something, and I was sitting there handcuffed to the desk in their office going through their own code book, showing them where it says that everything I had was legal. Like I had the clip wasn't in the thing, it was locked in the glove compartment, ammo was in a fully separate place locked away. I did everything right because I know how to not get arrested typically. But, they were trying to claim that like the throwing knives or the butterfly knives were like switchblades and just dumb stuff. And I'm sitting there having to go back and forth with the deputy chief of police in a city of 130,000 people that just didn't understand the laws he was trying to arrest me for.
And that's really sad, because in law enforcement, we must know the laws. It must be able to read them and understand them and be able to interpret the way the Supreme Court wants us to interpret it.
Yeah.
Now I know, so we mentioned that the constable requires previous law enforcement experience or peace officer experience, whatever it is, and licensing and stuff. Is the same true for deputies that are hired, or is that a little bit more lax? Do they get training on the job? How does that work?
They have to be either TCOS certified once you hire them, or you have to put them through an academy. You can't just
Okay.
have a civilian being a deputy. Has to
Okay.
be somebody with a TCO license.
So that's probably similar to just like someone becoming a
Yeah,
police
it's
officer.
like police officer, sheriffs. It's all about the
Okay.
same.
Okay. So again, we don't just have random people being hired to do jobs that have no idea what to do.
That'd be scary.
Yeah.
Now, would you be interested, or would you add some sort of like recurring testing to make sure that your deputies remember the information that they learned before they got hired, and that they haven't gone lax on any policies?
Well, yeah, I mean, the state already takes care of most of that for us. 'Cause
Okay.
every 2 to 4 years, it's a training cycle, and every training
Okay.
cycle, we have to come up with continuing education class. Like you have the cultural diversity, you have legislative updates. So every time there's a legislative update, you learn the new laws that are coming out. So I mean that the state requires a lot of that.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. It's with how tumultuous the political atmosphere has been over the last decade or so. I feel like you probably used to be able to get trained as a cop in like the 70s, and then it's 94 and all the laws are still mostly the same. You haven't really had to learn much new stuff. In Texas, it's like weed is legal, but Delta 8's legal, but now Delta 8's illegal, and medical, like we're just changing all this stuff around every 6 months. You have no idea
Don't
what to
take
do.
vacation.
Personally, I'm for the legalization of marijuana. I mean,
Make a lot of friends.
Hell yeah.
All right. All right. So let's get on with our next one here. Over to David.
How would you balance the office's required civil process duties with its broader peace officer authority and calls for law enforcement assistance?
well, the main job of a constable is civil process, so that should come first, unless there comes a call out for law enforcement assistance, like if somebody's hurt or injured. Life over property is what I've always said. If somebody's life is in danger, that should be our focus.
I'd agree.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. All right. So we are about halfway through here. If you are just now tuning in, again, feel free to drop any questions, comments into the chat, and we will throw them towards Justin and see how well he reacts. All right, moving on to our next one, question 5. I know we talked very briefly about this before we started. So here we go. Would your office use license plate readers, facial recognition, or mass data sharing systems? What privacy limits would you establish?
Well, currently where I work, they have the flock cameras, which everybody's hate, which I have a love-hate relationship for the flock system, because it has helped our department capture thefts, and we've had trailer thefts, and we're able to find the person, find the vehicle, and it turned out to be a whole ring of somebody using false information to acquire trailers at different kinds of trailer dealerships. And so as a whole, so we're able, with the flock cameras, we're able to combine that with other jurisdictions cases, and it turned out to be like a trailer stealing ring around north central Texas, up in the Dallas area and here in the Waco area. So it's helped there, but I can see where we're without any supervision of it, and with the evolving technology and with AI integrated into it, that it can be a bad for our not bad, but like not, how do I put this? Not where the cons will outweigh the pros.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, where then it will turn into a surveillance type state, in which I don't like that. But in its current iteration, I think it's an okay product, but I could see the potential for it to go down the wrong path with more and more cities, and it goes from just standing on the corner with taking a picture to taking pictures of your vehicle all throughout the highways and that is, in my opinion, a tracking way to track somebody, and I really don't feel comfortable with that. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
if you can just put in a license plate number and see here at these different times, you can't tell me that's not tracking.
Yeah. And which I know there's some safety stuff in it where you have to have a case number to put in a plate, and you have to have a reason. You have to type in a reason that to put in a plate. So you just can't willy-nilly type in a plate and follow some. You have to have a reason to do it. But
That's good to know.
And also it has, like, it doesn't alert us to, the only thing it alerts us on is if a sex offender comes into town, it'll ding their vehicle, or somebody with a protective order comes into town, it'll ding their vehicle. But other than that, it doesn't alert us to anybody coming in.
Yeah, that only helps though if it's registered to that, if that vehicle is registered to the person. If that vehicle is stolen, now someone who or is being borrowed or whatever, then somebody else is getting pulled over for it's nothing they did.
Yeah. Which if it's a stolen vehicle, that will pop up on the system, say this vehicle is stolen.
Gotcha.
Or stolen license plate.
And then as far as like the privacy limits, because as you mentioned, using them right now, you have to have a case number, which is a good start. Like you just can't go randomly start typing stuff in to look things up, or at least you're not supposed to.
Yeah. Plenty of people have gotten in trouble for it. I've seen
plenty of people have gotten in trouble for that. Would you be for requiring a warrant, for example, in order to perform a search?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. Warrant or a subpoena.
Yeah, I will say the speed at which a lot of these people are getting caught doing the bad things with Flock, like it's a big argument for like the anti-Flock group, which I'm a part of, that like, oh, all these people are misusing it. But from the looks of it, they're getting caught fairly quickly and then getting fired fairly quickly, and they are at least somewhat policing their own on this, which is encouraging to see, because it's not often that the government actually does that.
With a lot of the law enforcement databases, I mean, the opportunities for misuse is there. I mean, with the TLEDs, we can run somebody's name and date of birth and or vehicle plate numbers. We can all that, get people's social security. I can pull up a website and get where you live, where you've lived over the past your whole lifetime, get your social security number and all that without a warrant. It uses your data that you've put over the internet, and we're able to get all that. So Flock and that, I've seen more problems with the other thing than I do Flock.
They're both terrifying to me.
Yeah.
I want to be as anonymous as possible in society.
Yeah, seeing all this,
running for office probably isn't helping you, bro.
No, it doesn't. I've already given up on that part as well. All right. All right.
Hope that answered a little bit.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
Yeah, it's very interesting having conversations and discussions with people who use the tools, because it is a tool. I mean, there's a contract for it. There's a database that's being stored, where all the information is stored. It is a tool that you use. Because it currently doesn't require a warrant, a lot of people are very uncomfortable with that. And the lack of, I think, overall transparency that citizens have on what's being accessed, who's accessing it, who has access to the data. I know that's a major concern, but yeah, it's like, it does help you find people.
Yeah, it is a great tool. I'll admit that.
It does exactly what the intent is for. The I think enough people though have they've watched Terminator. They in 1984. They kind of know where some of this technology was foretold 40, 50 years ago. And we're just kind of now starting to see it, and it's or is the law enforcement or is the government actually going to do the right thing for once, or is it going to abuse it?
Just with everything else.
Right. And I think it's one of those like weird straw that broke the camel's back kind of things with just kind of society as a whole. Because I've talked to a couple of my law enforcement friends about this over the last few months as it's becoming super popular, and kind of the recurring theme from those conversations is this is a tiny marginal increase in the amount of surveillance and tracking that we're actually doing. Like 2 years ago, like you were saying, there's the other database that's got most of your information. Maybe it doesn't know exactly where you are day to day, but they've had access to all the public security cameras, that it's not that difficult to subpoena or even just ask like business owners and homeowners to use. You've got the Ring camera system that's been doing their thing for a while.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just the general public is having such a backlash to this one thing, and most of the law enforcement people I talk to are like, "What did we do?" It's like if you're in a kind of toxic relationship, and then you're just doing the same stuff you're always doing, and then all of a sudden you just like leave a cup on the counter, and that blows up into a fight, and you're like, wait, this is just my normal daily like routine. Like, why is this such a big deal? And it's what the general public is actually wanting at the moment is not even a stop in the progression of the surveillance, but they're kind of realizing how far we've already progressed, and they want to regress probably 5-10 years worth of technology, which law enforcement's like, we can't do that. Like, then we don't know how to do our jobs.
So you get a new toy, you don't want to give it back.
Right. And I can't necessarily fault them for that mentality.
You got to go back to the good old days where you had a pen and paper and you just went door to door asking questions.
Right.
A lot of legwork.
It used to be.
Yeah.
All right. So that was that one. All right. Let's move over to our next question. Some interdepartment stuff. David.
All right. How would you coordinate with the sheriff and local police without unnecessarily duplicating their work or expanding the constable's office beyond its proper role?
See, I've often had this thought, because like we have a lot of complaints about people running school bus stop signs out in the county, which our county deputies are doing an awesome job, but they don't have the time to go and sit behind a school bus and watch, make sure people don't run the stop signs. And our local law enforcement, your municipalities don't have the authority to go jurisdiction to go outside of their city to enforce it, which the constable's office can step in and work with the local law enforcement, local PDs, with the ISDs, and be like, hey, what are your routes? What can we do to help you? What school bus has the most people running these stop signs? And work with the sheriff's office, be like, hey, we're going to be out here monitoring this school bus, and we're going to monitor for the safety of the children, and it can integrate it that way to help.
So that's one of the few places that I'd be more okay with the use of like automatic license plate readers and stuff like that, is like that specific thing is on the school buses, where it only captures if the stop signs are out. But yeah, I have zero tolerance for that, because
I do too.
Yeah, that's just a crazy thing.
I've seen a child get hit because somebody ran a stop sign, and I don't want to ever see that again.
Mm-hmm.
Now so for the sheriff's deputies, how many are in McLennan? Do you know?
So when they're fully staffed, which law enforcement has a up and down
right
turnover, when they're fully staffed, I believe there's 12 on in the county, just regular patrol. And then each district, they have 4 districts, have a corporal and then a patrol sergeant. And so 14 maybe.
Okay. And then how many deputies would the constable's office have?
Currently, the constable's office only has 1 deputy. The precinct
Okay.
only has 1 deputy.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So that would effectively give you 2 constables, a constable and a constable's deputy, to monitor the buses during that time, and then coordinate with the 1 or 2 of the sheriff's deputies plus the marshal, and you said to just make sure no one's running those stop signs.
Yes.
I have a kind of follow-up expansion to this question, especially given where you are in the country. How would you coordinate with federal law enforcement to make sure that if they're, acting on something that's serious, that you're coordinating with them, but we don't have another Waco?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to deal with the feds. I don't know if y'all ever have to deal with them.
I try to avoid them at all costs.
I mean, there's some good federal officers here in the area, but trying to coordinate with the federal government on the whole is always a stickler, especially here in Texas because of Waco in this area.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good federal officers that I could call them, like, hey, y'all need help on this. What can y'all do? And they're always looking to help.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
All right. All right. So we talked briefly about transparency earlier. What policies would you establish for body cameras, public complaints, use of force reporting, and lawful access to office records?
I would make sure that anybody in my department has a body camera because they're a really great tool. When I first started law enforcement, we didn't have body cameras. And then I remember when they started implementing, everybody hated them. Now we all love them because somebody makes a complaint like, no, it's right here on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And public complaints, just take their complaint, review it with a body camera, and see if it's factual or not. And the use of force, that's mandated by the state that we have to, if there's a use of force, we have to turn it in and send it off to TCOL or actually have an internal investigation, determine whether it was an appropriate use of force or not. And lawful access to office records, that's your Open Records Act. Again, the state's always mandated that, and I'm always about open records and being there to give the taxpayers what they request.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about body cameras from all of my cop buddies. They're like, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and he was telling me that he like lost his notepad in like the middle of a shift, just what he had been writing all of his stuff down on. So he just went back and watched the body cam footage to retake the notes.
I've done that many times.
I guess that's a good use of taxpayer dollars.
I mean, yeah. Make sure that it's not all just on paper. That's helpful.
But I think it's amusing as well because, like, if I recall correctly, when body cams were first kind of pushed, they were being pushed in some of the more liberal cities because the citizens were wanting to start holding the cops accountable and using it to file lawsuits and all this other kind of stuff, and it kind of backfired on them because most of the time the body cam footage showed that no, this was lawful. There was nothing bad has happened here. Now there are cases where yes, it does work in the citizens' favor that an officer was abusing power or something else like that. But I think, as you said, it's kind of been a net positive for officers because it's showing that yes, they are upholding the law properly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's also giving the quote unquote good cops the ability to actually be good cops. because there's that amount of transparency where I
Mhm.
think the like lack of enforcement on bad cops for a lot of time was just lack of evidence. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
because
it's your buddy's word against some random civilian, and you're just kind of making a judgment call.
yeah, that's a lot of it.
Now, I have seen reports, not necessarily in your county or in Texas for that matter, but there have been reports that when people are, filing requests to get access to body cam footage or to see office records, they're kind of being stonewalled, or they are, met with a, here's a $10,000 bill. Yes, we're more than happy to give it to you if you can pay for it. How would you kind of handle that stuff at the constable level?
Well, it includes video and body camera. If it's an open investigation, then we can't release anything.
Hmm.
But once the investigation is closed, I mean, it shouldn't cost that much money for a USB drive to put a video video on a USB stick, and the only thing that would take maybe an hour or two is redacting stuff like other people's information on it. That's usually what takes the longest with body cams. But now with the way AI is out with Axon, that you just hit a button and tell it what you want it to redact, and it'll redact it.
That's cool.
So it shouldn't. If they're stonewalling, it's because of something else, not because it's hard to get the
Yeah, that's what I kind of
product.
figured. I know databases, I know how to transfer files, I know how to do all that kind of stuff. It's not hard, and
It's
if
not difficult.
it's not difficult. And if it's taking somebody a long time to do something, either A, they don't know what they're doing, and they probably shouldn't be in that position to begin with, or B, they're trying to hide something.
Yeah, I mean, or if it's a long case, you got multiple cameras,
Hmm.
a lot of redactions, and then that can take a little while. But especially if you're doing a manual redaction, which I've tried to do, it can be tedious because you have to go frame by frame by frame
Ooh.
to block out a cell phone screen as somebody moves a cell phone over the camera, or hold a driver's license. If they hold it like that, you have to go frame by frame with a black dot to mark everything out, and it can become tedious if they're doing it not without using AI.
So that right there, I think, would save taxpayers a lot of money by just throw it into AI and say, mark out this name or mark out this address, and be done in 10 minutes or something like
Yeah.
that for the AI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once the technology gets there and we're able to actually use, because in its current iteration, AI, there's no really AI thing that's CJIS compliant. That's the criminal justice information
Mhm.
system. It has anything we use has to be CJIS compliant. So it can't just put random people's information into like Grok or Chat
Okay.
GPT, because it's not a safe place to put it, because we don't know who can access the files on the back end. So if we're gonna
Right.
put somebody's information in there, it's not it's not safe.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
All right. We've got a couple questions in the chat we'll get to here in just a moment. I see you there. Hold tight. So we're going to move on to our last question for David.
All right. How would you use the office's approved budget efficiently, and what information would you publish so taxpayers could evaluate its performance?
I publish the entire budget proposal and everything related to the budget, and until I'm in the office, I really don't know what's in it, of course. So, but basically, whatever we have to have is going to be budgeted, and then whatever needs or the office needs, try to get it at a reduced rate, and try to figure a way to save the taxpayers the most.
Free market capitalism, always go for that low budget or that low rate on stuff, and not pay those exorbitant government fees.
Yeah,
Yep.
$2 million for a bathroom. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
I've seen, was that in New York? It was $2 million for a bathroom that now it's got graffiti all over it.
Yeah, I think that was what it was.
That sounds like my home.
Good old New York.
God, I
I'll
don't
tell
miss
too many
it.
people you're from New York, especially here in Texas.
Right. I'm like, I promise I'm from upstate. I grew up in like country
It was
redneck.
rural New York.
Yeah, like I'm not one of them. I promise.
Although you're better saying New York than California here. So
Yeah, we
That
don't
is
talk
for
about them.
sure. All right. Let's David, do you have any more questions for Justin before we move over to the chat?
No, we can do the chat one.
All right, cool. All right. So first is just a comment from Susan Marney. Thank you, Justin, for stepping up and running for a local office.
you're welcome.
All right. And now Susan's actual question. Susan says, in my area, local city and county law enforcement are signing contracts with ICE to help with enforcement in exchange for funds/vehicles. What is your stance on this?
Well, that's kind of a hard one for me because on some hands, I believe that immigration, you should come here legally. I mean, my great grandparents came here legally, and so I believe that we are a rule of laws, and you should be here legally. But if you've been here for 40 years, there should be a way for you to be able to stay. You're brought here as a child. I mean, I've had friends from elementary school that he was brought here as a child, and he finally got his citizenship 3 or 4 years ago. And so on the helping with ICE, I think it was like a double-edged sword, kind of, because you want to help them when they if they're trying to get a criminal, somebody that's assaulted somebody, raped, or anything like that. But then you're thinking, if this person they've taken out of the country, how long have they been here? Have they been here? So that's a hard one for me.
Yeah, if somebody's 50 and they've been in America for 40 years, they're American.
Yeah.
They're more American than anything else that they were born as.
There should be a way for them to get their citizenship.
I feel like it should really be ICE helping local law enforcement, not vice versa. Where, if you as a cop or a constable or whatever, you arrest somebody that has committed a violent crime, and then turns out they're here illegally anyway, that should just save tons of taxpayer dollars as far as the process that we would normally have to go through of putting them through trial and holding them here and doing whatever we would do with a citizen. It's just like, hey, ICE, come get your guy. And then we just can kind of but it should start with a local law enforcement arrest, and then it's like, okay, here, get him out of the country now, rather than ICE coming in and saying, oh, here's all the illegals, we need your help arresting all these peaceful people. I think
That does happen a lot, because we've called ICE. A guy stole a vehicle, wrecked it out, and he happened to be illegal. So we contacted ICE. ICE came out and verified that he was illegal, that he was on I forget what status it is, where they're mandatory deport. So instead of us filing charges on him, going through the whole court process, the victim was okay with, okay, ICE will take him, he gets deported. Instead of spending time in our jail facilities, ICE just sends them back.
yeah.
So that does happen. That happens more often than them calling us to help them pick somebody up.
Yeah, I think there's definitely that line between somebody's here illegally, but they're contributing, they're peaceful, they're not taking from the system, and then someone who's here illegally and stealing cars.
Yeah.
There's a line there, but there's a big difference between the two, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Last question we've got here. Yeah, we'll throw it up here. Why not?
Yeah. What is an issue that you feel the county is overlooking right now, if there is one that you can think of? And when you win, can you buy RJ lunch?
I'll buy him lunch and dinner.
There you go.
All right. You hear that, RJ?
Might even get him a snack. I don't know. What issue the county? guess overlooking would be all this. How do I put this? All the small things like the to help the citizens, like your stuff like the National Night Out. Usually the counties don't have enough people, or they spread too thin and not able to help. But and they're always hard of them trying to draw on a blank here. Why RJ asked that.
Promote it, finance it.
Yeah, and help out that way, because usually it's stuck on the local municipalities to do everything and set everything up. Which the county here does help a lot, but I wish they would do some more.
And just show up and be a presence in some of those smaller towns.
Yeah, basically, because they right in McLennan County, they're usually around the Waco area because there's more people there. They're not often in the wider county area where the unincorporated area is. So if they can show more presence in the unincorporated area, it would help out a lot.
People live there too.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to be it for questions that we've got in the chat. I know David always has a wrap-up question.
Yeah. How can people find out more about you and your campaign and donate and volunteer?
Well, I have a Facebook page. Let me make sure I get the name of it right and pull it up. It's a Gonzales for McLennan Precinct 3 Constable's Office. You can follow me on there. I post stuff regularly, and there's a way to donate through it. It's technology.
Excellent. All right. Before we go, is there anything else you'd like to shout out? Do you have any upcoming events that you're planning on attending? What do you got next planned?
Nothing should be coming up. I guess the next thing we have is called Westfest here in town, and I should be in the parade for that and trying to work that out right now.
What are the dates on that for people that are?
It'll be Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's make sure you get on that parade, and so people will know that you're there. Do you know if other candidates typically show up to that kind of stuff?
Yeah, a lot of the different candidates show up and participate. And there's a section for all the political offices, because you have a lot of our sheriff usually is in it. Anybody running for any office is usually in it. Who else was in it? The state senator, what's his name? I was gonna say Doc, but he's retired.
One of them.
Yeah. Always in it.
Awesome. All right.
Nice.
Well, thank you, Justin, for coming on to letting everybody know, what the different policies are and everything. David, thank you again for co-hosting. For everybody who is currently following along, just catching up, you can go start the video at the beginning to go see all of Justin's answers. So this is the last candidate interview that we have scheduled on the books. So Justin finished out strong for us. You did. Don't tell yourself you didn't. You did. You finished out strong. But that doesn't mean the channel is done or LPTexas is done with streams. We are planning on some other kind of content. So if you haven't liked, subscribed, followed on Facebook, X, or YouTube, please do so that you can keep up to date whenever the party decides to go live. Probably talking about current events going on in Texas, what's up on the, what's happening on the books. We're possibly even looking at maybe doing some roundtables, or whenever the two parties do a debate and they decide not to invite us, we will crash the party live. So again, feel free, or not feel free, go do it now. That is an authoritarian do it now.
Yes.
Like, subscribe, follow along, and be sure to check us out for more content coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Again, thank you both. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.